And we are live. Gonna give it a couple minutes. I'm a little bit early, just checking on all of the settings. And I'm gonna post to the groups really quick. Hi Sue, hey Marianne, hey Shirley, hey Pamela. Well, I said I was gonna post to the groups. I'm trying. It's trying to give me some problem here. But I'm not gonna let it. How's everybody doing tonight? And one more. I'm working on a short, there we go. A little bitty screen for my Facebook, and it's hard to navigate. Hi Jane. All right, that's everything. Hi Joyce. My sister's in South Carolina. All right. Hey Louise. As always, guys, if you are on Facebook and not on YouTube, you have to be on signed in on YouTube to chat on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, it will only say viewer. It won't tell me who you are, so please let me know who you are if you are posting from Facebook. I know, right, Louise? So we are on day 7 of the 12 days of Christmas. We've got a couple minutes yet to go. I have been busy, and I'm going to show you guys some stuff, and we're going to talk about some things. But I just want to say thank you to my moderators. You guys are doing a fantastic job, best in the business. And I want to say thank you to all of my supporters on YouTube, memberships on Ko-fi and on Patreon. And if you're not aware, if you're a Ko-fi supporter, you now have tiers. We are doing a Zoom tier now, and it is available to you on Ko-fi. You do not have to switch over to Patreon unless you want to be annual. So, all right, I'm going to play the intro, guys, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Hi, Tina. She made it. There's Tina. So here we are with our July calendar. It is July the 19th, and this is day 7 of our Christmas in July. And we have been putting out some files for you guys. Today is going to be interactive cards, but tomorrow really is too. I am featuring 3 designs from Louise. She has been gracious enough to make 3 files for me to help me out, and I greatly appreciate her. Thank you so very, very, very much, Louise. And I will decide tonight as I start cutting which one is going to be a monthly, which one is going to be annual, and which one is going to be a freebie. So stay tuned for some featured designs from Louise tomorrow, and I will be doing a tutorial for them. And that's as far as I've gotten, really. I mean, I have my notes, but I'm not gonna divulge any more information about what's coming on Wednesday, Thursday, and what we're doing on Zoomers on Friday. So if you want to be a Zoomer, you have to join that tier. I will show you one of the projects that we did on Zoomers, or actually 2. I'm going to go to the overhead. This is the schedule. We're still on schedule. I haven't had to postpone anything so far this month, knock on wood. So I just want to make sure that you guys know that the calendar is available on site on the 2021 Files tab, and also in the groups in your announcements, no matter which group you're a member of. Okay? And let's pop overhead and just take a look at what we've done since July the 12th. If I can get my mouse to move. He got stuck. I probably have a glue dot on the bottom of it or something. There we go. Look at all these goodies, guys. So if you are not hey Dolores, if you are not a supporter, you've been missing out, because here's some of the files we did. We did the I'll Be Known for Christmas card. That is one of the files. Now, some of these are freebies. I don't remember which ones are freebies and monthly and all that without going to look. But we have our Let It Snow card. We did that one. This one we did in the Zoomers class with the magnetic sentiment on the inside. That was our first Zoomers, I think, or second Zoomers, something like that. Then we did this Let It Snow card. How pretty is that? We did that one. We did our gift card and envelope. Most all of them have envelopes. We did our set. I'm not going to take that apart, but it has note cards, tags, and 4 A2 cards. It's like a gift set. It has 4 of each in there. We did that. We have our Let It Snow box that we did. That'll hold a t-shirt, probably 2, or t-shirts and socks. Fun box there. We did a little treat box for your neighbors. We did a gnome box to share. We also did this box, the Jingle Bell box. We did that one. This box, oops, I knocked my tag off. This box, our Zoomers had a class on how to create, and they created their box from scratch. So you may see some of their boxes floating around in the groups, and it may look a little different than this one. I used the holly leaf, and that's what I shared with you guys, but they have a file that they can work their magic on. They created themselves. Then we have the door hanger that we did for the hot chocolates. Love that paper. And we did the little gingerbread box, and I did some glass, liquid glass on the little bows. So that came out the other day for you guys. We did our 2021 ornament box. Love that ribbon closure on that. We did our hot cocoa mix box for your neighbors. Looks like a little coffee cup. Let's see. This is one of my favorites. We did the little gnome Tic Tac box that you can share. We did the blue poinsettias. Love how that came out. I've never done blue poinsettias, but very, very pretty card with embossing. And then we did today, you guys probably got this already. This is the nativity card, the swing card. And you pull on it and it opens up, it reveals the message. And I added strings on the end of mine so you could pull it. And we did the little light up village tea lights. Showed you guys how to do those. What else did we do? Oh. And this one came out today. And this one is, we have a video on, I'm not going to do it, but this is a Baby It's Cold Outside Shake Your Flakes card. So you've got this one as well with the warm wishes. Look how tiny those snowflakes are. And they cut so well in Design Space. I was happy with it. One cut, I got it on Intricate. And then we also had the Naughty Nice box. On the nice side it says ho ho ho. And on the naughty side it says oh oh oh. So that's one of my favorites so far. That's where we're at. So you have gotten these files from the 12th to today. And we're still not through. We're still going strong. Tonight we're going to put this one together. And I call this the Peace and Joy card. And I wanted it to look kind of rustic. And I used the buffalo plaid on this one. But I wanted it to be simple but elegant. And I put liquid glass on my print and cut. I will show you guys that here in just a moment. And then you open it up and you have the little pop-outs that are kind of floating. It says Peace and Joy. So we're going to put that together tonight. So you guys liking those files so far? Are we hitting the mark on them? You shouldn't have any problem finding something that you need for Christmas boxing and cards and stuff like that. And I am going to shift the camera here just a little bit, guys, and change its position for you. I'm going to try anyway. There we go. I think that's a little bit better for us. I don't mean to make anybody seasick. Sorry about that. I couldn't fit it all in. There was so much, I just couldn't fit it in. On tonight's project, guys, I ran out of Cricut white cardstock and I had to go buy cardstock. So I just used some of the Nina Smooth until my Cricut cardstock comes in. And tonight I'm using up some, I had these left over from last year, but I'm pretty sure they're still available because they're pretty popular. But they are both Cardabella, and the Buffalo Plaid is from Buffalo Plaid #1, okay? And the other one, the wood-looking one, is from Christmas Delivery. So if you need or you want to replicate, you can get these papers, or you can even do some print and cut maybe. I'm going to show you because you can print your paper on both sides if you have a wide format printer, or you can do 8.5 by 11. And I finally found that snowflake I couldn't find. I lost one yesterday. There he is. So, I got a little bit of news. I am a little tired, Shirley. I'm not going to tell a story. I was up till 3 a.m. I had a sick dog last night, and she wasn't feeling good. So every time she drank water, she threw up, and I had to get up and clean it up and clean her up and all that kind of stuff. So I was up till about 3, and then I got up at 5:30, and I started my day. And got everything prepared, got the videos posted and the files posted for you guys. And then I had a meeting with Cricut, and I am now an official Cricut partner. So you're gonna see some perks start falling your way in the groups. You're gonna see some things happening. So keep your eyes peeled for those announcements as they come up. Make sure you're checking those announcements every day. Okay? And I know that there's a little bit of lag. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Tina. So we got some goodies and things that are going to start happening. You guys just wait. I can't give you any more information than what I just did, so we'll have to wait from there. I'm glad you guys are excited. I am too. I'm very, very, very excited. I don't know. Did y'all like this close-up better, or do you like the further away shot? I don't have any in between. It's way up high or down low like this. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Joyce, Dolores. Thanks, everybody. I just want to be sure you guys can see on this. Let me stretch. That's kind of small. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Yes, I have, Shirley. Yes, I have. Okay, I'm going to try my very, you like it better close? Okay, I'm going to try my very best to stay in the screenshot for you guys. And if I get out of screenshot, y'all just wave and jump up and down and scream and get my attention, okay? So that I can move back into screen. No, Pat, it is not the same. This is a new program. It's a new program. Okay. I'm going to try to remember I'm in close. I was trying to get it to allow me to. Is that a little bit better maybe? You got that black bar on the side if I do that. And then I don't know. I'm using my iPhone and it does good pictures, but if I lower it down where you're closer, then I can't see my screen because I'm looking through a bar. Hey, Susan. I was given official Cricut partner today, Susan. Yeah, I'm afraid that you guys aren't going to be able to see what I'm doing if I go on that close one. So I apologize, Tina. I'll have to leave it here. But I am going to, it isn't clear. Is that what it is? Okay. Let's go back to the telephoto. All right. I will work on getting this camera thing situated where I can see. Like I said, I'm in the process of moving, so I had to shift some stuff around, and so I'm limited. Is it clear now? Should be. I'm showing it clear. Okay, perfect. All right, and I'm like I said, if you can't see something, just ask me, and I will move and shift back and forth so that you can see. Okay. So what I did is I started with a piece of plain print. I did my Cricut pen on this, and I used the coffee, I believe it was, the coffee gel pens for my writing. Yes, coffee brown is the one I use for the writing. So you can change that up in the file, guys. You can use whatever colors you want. I think I have the file set up for green, but that's okay. do what you want. Now, I did ink this. I used some of the Tim Holtz Distress inks. This is my mini just because that's the one I grabbed instead of grabbing my big pad of it. I used the Distress ink in a Vintage Photo. And I just used my makeup brushes and tapped on it and started off the paper and came on. And yes, I do have some spots where it's heavy, but I was trying to make it look kind of old, vintage, tea stained, like it was found in an attic. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Oh no, Shirley. And then right here, you can see that I got these little creases to make it look even more authentic. You can get that by opening up your scissors and laying them up under it and inking over that, or your weeder tool, or your or straight pen, anything that just gives it just a little bit of a bump under there that's thin. You can get where it looks like that page had been creased or almost ripped, or so you can get that look. Just play around with your inks. Super easy to do. And again, you're just going to start off and then work your way onto the paper and get that look. And I just went all the way around till I was happy with it. You start out light and keep adding ink until you get the look that you want, because you can see it's completely white on the back. Okay, so super easy, simple technique. Is there a difference between Distress ink and other ink? Yes. Well, pigment inks are good. Pigment inks, this is like a hybrid of pigment and dye ink, if that makes sense. That's the way I understand it anyway. But it's like a pigment and dye. If I'm wrong, somebody can please correct me, because that's the way that I understand it. Pigment inks will allow you to use embossing powders. They don't dry as quickly, and you can work them a little bit longer than you can dye inks. You can still use dye inks, but they're not as easy to work with. And Distress inks are water reactive, okay? And some of your pigment inks are, but not all. Okay? And you can see that I did my other tag, and I didn't go quite as dark as I did on the inside, and that's because I've got panels behind it, but I wanted it to look like it had a little bit, so I went very, very lightly on this. Now, I didn't do it yet because I wanted to wait for you guys. I used a couple of Copic markers, and if you want, you can use your ink pad if you don't have any Copic markers. This is a toast color, and I did go around the edges of like my brown panel here, and then go around these edges just to give them that little punch up on this card, and it's going to make it. Make sure that you're doing this from the back. You don't want to do it from the front, because if your marker slips, you're going to mark up your card. So you want to be careful of that. And sometimes I still don't do it, and I always regret it and have to recut because I messed up. I don't think I did this one. I think I waited. So if you wanted to do, if you don't have the Copic markers, you can take your ink pad and you can do the same thing. And just go right along that edge. And that's just going to knock some of that stark white against this dark cardstock off and give it a better finished look. Okay. Super easy, super simple, super quick. Right, Sue? I say that a lot, I know. But it really is. It really is. It just takes a little bit of practice, guys. Right, Shirley? They last for a long time. They do. So I am just going to take this panel, and I'm just going to sit it to the side. We don't need it yet. I'm going to sit. We can go ahead and put those together and let those dry. So I went around my plaid, because when you cut it, it's colored on both sides, and when you cut it, it's white core. And I didn't want that stark white on that buffalo plaid, so I went around that with my black Copic marker, just like you saw me do with that other piece. So I went around all of my plaid pieces, even my little circles, with that. Now I didn't go around these with the vintage inks because I do want them to pop out just a little bit more, but if you want to do yours, you can, okay? And we're going to start, this has a large plaid on one side and a small on the other, and I'm using the small side up on the front of my card. And I'm just going to layer this piece that looks like wood on there. Center that up. I don't know where my card went so that I could even, oh, there it is. Look at it, how I laid it out. Because I will forget. With all the files I've been doing, I'll forget where I put what. But that's okay too, we can change it up. And so center that piece right there on that. And then this piece will get pop dotted up off the front with some foam dots, just like these. Okay, and I did use the thin ones for this. I didn't want it to be too high up. I did take and cut a few extras of these, and I used liquid glass. And if you're going to do that, you want to do this well in advance and give it time to dry, because it took a few hours to dry. And you can see, well, I just used tape runner to stick it to this so that it doesn't move, or if I shift my paper, I don't ruin my liquid glass. But you can see that it gives that piece that little bit of shine. So it's going to pop that up on the card. Now you can use liquid glass, you can use tonic glaze, you can use diamond glaze. There are lots of glazes. You can use Tonic Studios, the clear Morning Dew one. You can use that. It just won't run as much as the other one did. So I'm going to get rid of that extra one so I'm not trying to figure out where it goes. So you got two pieces like this, and one is scored on the right hand side of the page. One is scored on the left hand side of the page. Okay, and I have pen marks. Now I used my white chalk pen because this paper was dark, but you can use whatever color pen is going to show up on your paper. And this is just a white gel pen that I got from I believe Michael's. It might have been Hobby Lobby. But this is a Jelly Roll pen, and I just let it dot right there where I needed them. Okay? You're going to fold that up. I'm having the large be to the outside of my card and the small to the inside. So you're just going to fold up on that score. And then you're going to take the other side, and you're going to fold up on that score. Okay? Just like that. So you have two pieces that have that fold just like it is there. Then I am using tearing tape. Guys, this is the best method that I found for this. And I'm just going to run a strip. Trying to get right back here on camera. Right down that spine. Okay. So that's my front panel. The one with the dots is my back panel. And I'm just going to run a bead down that as well. You've never used Copic markers, Tina? You can use them. Tina, do you stamp anything? Like instead of having your Cricut write it, do you use ink pads and stamps to stamp images like on white cardstock and then cut your banners with Cricut and all of that to go on them, or your tags? Because like this piece Enjoy might be a stamp, and then this pine cone might have been a stamp, and then you can go in and you can color in that pine cone like you want. Copic markers are alcohol ink markers. And you can layer them up and do some shading. I don't have anything stamped right now, but I have a scrap. So let's just pretend that I was coloring in a circle, and I wanted to give it a shadow. So I could color in that circle. This toast marker is about toast because I use it so much. But I can keep building up the ink on the other side and give it that shadow effect. Okay? And then I can go in with my blend, because you can blend the inks. And that's the beauty of them, is you can keep going and you can keep blending the inks so that if you can get your light source when you're coloring in your stamps. Okay. So you can see how I started building the ink. And if this is still too dark for me, I can take the blender marker, which is just like clear, and go in here and go over it, and it will lighten it up in areas. So lots of things that you can do with those. They come in handy for lots of stuff, not just coloring the edge of our cards, because that's what I use them for, is I colored the edge of my cards here so they wouldn't be white edges on this dark. Whenever I do a dark card, I don't like those white edges to show, okay? And that's what I do with them. All right, so you've got 5 little transparency strips in there, and you can use your Cricut foil acetate, and you can make these longer if you want to, guys. I have them set to be right about, not quite center of the card when it opens, but you can make it center a little bit better than that if you want. You can make the strips come out long, short, etc. at different intervals. Lots of things you can do with this. I did it at Father's Day and had Daddy on here. I've had Happy and then B-Day on the back. So you can use this card in many, many, many ways. Yes, Copics are very expensive. There are other brands on the market, but I really like the Copics. I have Copics, I have Spectrum Noirs, and I have the Spectrums from Close to My Heart. So there are lots of places where you can get them. So you're going to take this strip off the back. Just going to grab a weeding tool, and we're going to lift that right off of there. Okay? And then I'm just going to stand it up. And these do not have to be even. You just want to, I'm just going to stick about center way of my strip to that tape on the back. Doesn't matter. It does not have to be perfectly centered, and you'll see why in a minute. I mean, you need to center it on your marks, but you don't have to worry about the height. You don't want it to go all the way down to the base of your card. Okay, you don't want it to extend past, because if you do, it's going to stick out. You just want to make sure that it is not coming down to that score line. And you're just going to line it up and center it just the center of those marks. You see how I'm getting that center of the strip? And that's what the marks are for. So you can change it to a score if you can see that instead of a pin on your canvas, however you want to do it, just as long as you can get those in there. And if you get it in the wrong place, you can pull it off and you can redo it. So no sweat, take your time and get it lined up like you want. I've got one that's kind of wonky there, but you don't want it sitting like that. You see how I got a couple of mine? You want to make sure you take your time and you get them on there straight. Which one is the culprit? This one or this one? Maybe both. Okay, and you can see all of mine are not even. Doesn't matter. they're not coming out the back. That's all I want to make sure, that they're not coming off that back. Okay? And we're just going to leave it like that. We're going to take the strip off of this one. And then this is the trick. So if you want to put a little bit of wet glue, because if you don't, once you stick this, it's going to be stuck and you're not going to have any wiggle room. So I'm doing both, and I'm putting a little bit of wet glue on this side as well as the tearing tape. And then with them sitting just like this, I'm going to line up those edges and we're going to smush them together, okay? Get them nice and even. And if you get a little bit of glue on your strips, don't worry, you can use a gum eraser or you can use a baby wipe after it dries and it'll wipe off of that transparency. Just going to give that a good press. Alright, so it should look just like this. Yes, Patty, those have it, and you can get those at Amazon. I almost bought those. I bought another set. I think I gave like $12 for it, and I think I got like 60 markers, but they're for the adult coloring books. Because if you're not used to coloring your stamps, those adult coloring books are good practice. So now we have, it looks like this, and it doesn't really matter at this point which is the front and which is the back. You can turn it either way, okay? All right, totally up to you. We are going to, I'm going to close it and let that dry for just a little bit, okay? And we're going to work on the front. Yeah, he wants to pop open because he has no weight on him, but we're going to put some weight on him. We're going to glue our wood panel to the front. And the reason I'm doing this is because I used the sticky tape and the glue, and I want that glue to have a minute to sit on those transparencies with that tape, so it doesn't pop loose when we start playing with it. We got our panel here. And I'm not going to do my bow yet. I'm going to wait on it. While that dries, we can pop dot our sentiment. And I did go crazy and use probably about 10 or 12 of these so it doesn't sag in the middle. If you're using the really thick ones, you really want to pay attention to that. With the thin ones, you probably don't need so many. But if it goes through the mail, I don't want it to sag. And until I get ready to give it, I don't know if I'm going to mail it. So I better be safe than sorry. Okay? That way it gives it a nice cushion all the way across. You can use the foam tape if you prefer for something like that. That'll pop it up and be easy to use too. So, a little option there. Now we're going to open this back up. Now I did this one this way. You can see that I put this here, and that was to hide a boo-boo. Okay? So I did a white on my little marks so that I could see them. So I'm going to go in and hide my little marks with a little Copic marker and dab all of my little white marks so that they kind of disappear and vanish, okay? But that part of the card is finished. I did use Copic on these and color the insides of them. And these are just to decorate it up on the inside. And you can, I like to use them on the edge. But, and you don't have to use both of them, because you can see that this is a little bit wider. So it's really supposed to go like that. But I was like, I don't know. You can do them this way. You can use one on the front if you want to cut it in a different color. There's just tons of things you can do. So I still don't know if I'm going to use them on these cards or not. So I'm just going to set them to the side. But you can see if you're going to use those, this card is a little bit, the insert is a little bit shy, and it was for that reason. But if you want to not use those, I would suggest going in and resizing this and adding a quarter, I think it's a 1/4 inch to the card, sentiment card. Okay. And I think I am going to use it. You could, even with that design, you can run ribbon through that, thread some ribbon through it, and that would be fun. If you want to put ribbon on the front different from the way I did this one, then you would need to do that before you glue that panel on. You want to put your ribbon on the panel first if you're going to run the ends up under it. Come back here. Grabbing faster than I want it to. I think I am going to use one of them. I'm just going to go through and put a little bit of the art glitter all the way down. And then I'm just going to place it right up on the card. And it does go from end to end. I was a little close with my joy of the season, but that's okay. This is actually bigger than what I usually do. And if you want to change yours in there, I didn't check to size it, and I just did it, and I wasn't going to redo it. I have too much going on for redos. But you guys make it your own. Change it up like you want. And I think I am going to bring this one in just about right here. Or do I want to do that? What do you guys like? I kind of like that. I'm going with it. Why not? But tons of options. And if you have a boo-boo on your sides here, you can place them up on the side. Just give it a little interest on that side. I did too, Shirley. I like that on the left side. It was appealing to the eye for me. And then it kind of looks like a repeat over here, so looks cute. All right, the fun part. You have 10 circles like this, and then you have 10 with your letters and stuff on them. And the reason that you need 10 of your pattern is because you're going to sandwich it this way so that your acetate isn't showing as much. Because if you only do one and then you put your letter on there, you're going to see that acetate over the top edge, and you don't want to see that. And I want my small pattern to the inside. So I'm just going to lay this down, and this is where you even it up. Remember I said it doesn't matter if these are not exactly even, and this is why, because we're going to even it out right now. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of this. And I'm just going to figure out how high I want it to go. Don't want it to be over the top of the card. I'm just going to place it right on. Actually, I should have just done a dot of glue. I got ahead of myself. And then I'm just going to lay it back. I'm going to place this one right on top of it. And it's going to get heavy, and that's okay. That's what we want. So it will be floppy. And we're just going to press those two together. Then I'm going to flip it back. And really you only want, this is what I should have done with that one, but I didn't. Put one dab of glue on your transparency strip. Okay? One dab of glue. And then place your circle in line with that one. And then you can flip it over. If you're, I don't think I squished any out. Yeah, I did a little bit. If you're worried about squishing some out, put a piece of paper in there. And that's going to help you. All right. Then you're going to flip it over. And this is the one you want to put all the glue on. And you're going to stick it right to that one. And line them up. Make sure they're even. And we're going to go back. So if this one, like this one is a little shorter than that one, and this one was a little shorter than that one, it doesn't really matter. Because we're just catching that transparency in the card circles. And we're just going to keep flipping it back and getting them lined up. You can do this. I did this with flowers on one. You can do it with butterflies. You can change the strips to 2 or 3 if you want to use bigger images. Use the amount of strips you want to use. And I want to be sure I'm not going below my card here. I'm going to flip it back. Can you guys see? I just moved that up so that I made sure I wasn't coming below my card. Just repeating the same steps 5 times. Okay, and then I'm just going to go, now that that glue has had time to get sticky on those others, giving them a good press down. Because some of these specialty cardstocks like this, sometimes they have a coating and the glue doesn't penetrate as fast as it does on our Cricut cardstocks. So now you've got your little pop-ups that wave. How cute! Yeah, you can print it, Shirley. I print it. I like to print my papers. So now is the tricky part. Make sure you spell all of your wordings right. You don't want to be spelling them wrong. And on the front, I did peace. So we're just going to place it down. And I did use some of the Distress ink and ink these up a little bit to make them look vintage. So we got our P. Does anybody have any design space questions or issues? Anything you need help with? I'm giving chat a minute to catch up. Oh, thanks, Susan. This is a fun birthday card too. Like I said, you can put happy on the front and then B, and then I did like a little candle and then day on the back for happy birthday. And there it is. And then we're just going to flip it over to the other side. And we're going to do our joy. Now I did the little pine cones, but you could change this out for bells or a gnome. Sue? Where is Sue? Could do gnomes. This would be pretty with the green buffalo plaid. Now this Cartabella paper did come with a green and a tan and a black and white paper as well. So you guys have options if you're using that paper. For some reason it doesn't look straight to me. I guess it is. And my O, I know I calibrated. I don't think my O was, I don't think it's centered right. And I put it center of the circle. But I didn't want to do a whole new print and cut for an O. Could always put a Nouveau drop or something on it, or a rhinestone, and make it look intended. All right, I'm going to give those a second to dry, but that's where your weight comes in to make them flop, okay? So you've got your nice weight on those to give them that flop so that they flop at different intervals. Yeah, Marianne prints a lot of paper. Marianne probably prints more paper than I do. But I just love this little card. I just love it. Now, I am thinking I'm going to go back because I'm sitting here staring at the snowflake that I lost yesterday. I think I'm going to cut about 8 or 10 more and splatter them around on this card, because I just saw that and was looking at it. So if you guys want to do that, that's in the Shake Your Booty, but it's a free snowflake in Design Space Access. I just didn't use the shadow layer that was with it. But I think I'm going to go add some snowflakes to this. I like the look of that. I just don't have any cut to do it right now. Let me find my... I lost my pen for my glue. There it is. I have one that Sue gave me that has beads on it, but I broke the shaft. I haven't replaced it yet. So now comes the fun. And it will relax and close, guys. Just give it a little bit of time and rub it down with your bone folder. Just give it time to relax, and it won't flop up on its own. I'm just going to tie a little bow, 2 loops. Just going to keep playing with it as I tighten it up. think that's about right. I might have cut that tail a little short, but that's okay too. Just cut the other one short. So what I did here was I took, this is about, I don't know, 4 inches long, 3.5. Any scrap will do. And I ran my tearing tape right down the middle. And I just leave that little piece of ribbon on there so it helps me find my tearing tape. And then we're going to peel that off of the ribbon. And then I'm just going to center it right down the card. I got a little crooked, but it's going to be okay. And then I'm going to take my bow. And I knew, I was like, I am going to put everything I need on my desk before I get started. And I still forgot something. And I'm using, this is a, I think 3/16. No, this is a 1/2 inch. That's what I grabbed, that's what I'm going to use. Doesn't look like a 1/2 inch. It's not a 1/2 inch. I got it in the wrong box. This is the mini glue dots. I think it's 3/16. And decide what side of my bow I want up. Put that glue dot right on the back of it and stick it right on top. And if your bow won't behave or your tails won't behave, stick a glue dot under them, and nobody's gonna know. Yeah, liquid glass is what I used. Susan is a close to my heart rep too. You can get that from her or Judy Behrens LaRue. They are both supporters and they're both close to my heart consultants. Susan, if you want to post your link for her, that's fine. I don't think Judy is here. So if you want to post your link so that she can get that. And then I'm just going to center up my Peace and Joy. Like I said, I got a little wrinkle right there, so I'm just going to hide it. And that's where it's going to land. Then I'm going to take, remember I put tape runner on the back of this before I put it down on my piece of scrap acetate and did my liquid glass on top, let it dry. So I could just peel it off. It's like a peel and stick, but I'm going to add a pop dot or 2 onto that. And you can get these from Susan too. They're the thin foam dots. And I'm going to do 2 on here. Stacked. I may do 3, 4. I'm going crazy with the dots, I know. I use a lot of them. And I'm just stacking them right up on top. If you have the thicker ones, you can just use the thicker ones. You won't need as many. And then I'm just going to layer it. Now, you don't have to do this if you don't want. You could do some sparkle over that or just put your liquid glass right over the top of that one. But I didn't want a chance that I made a boo-boo with my liquid glass or anything and that I could still use my card. So, super fun, simple, easy. Gives it that little 3D look. And we're done, guys. You have to back away slowly, Shirley. Yeah, I love the liquid pearls, the foam dots. I like the stamps and the dice too. I like the stamp of the month. I really do like that. So fun, easy, simple, quick. And the reason I say that is when we all get busy during the holidays, we want fun, cute, simple, and fast projects because we all have those last minute things we forgot to do. Oh, yay, Susan. Congratulations on getting those. Oh, yay, Tina. Go crazy. Give her that link. Susan, go crazy over there. Happy birthday, Tina. Thanks, Pat. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes simple is pretty. But I do think I am going to go back and add some snowflakes. Or if you have the white pigment ink, you could go in and stamp some. But I think I'm going to scatter maybe 4 or 5 around. I think it will make it pop just a little bit more. You still in Florida, Tina? Okay, so that concludes day 7. Guys, you have your files for the Shake Your Flakes and see, I think the nativity card, was that it? The nativity card, the nativity swing card that Louise was kind enough to design for us back in the spring. We remade it with a Christmas theme. And then we have the Shake Your Flakes card today. And we had the nativity. So those are the 3 for today. Oh, I have them upside down. I love the way that acetate came out on that as a panel. I really like it. So here is your interactive day 7. And we are going to have interactive cards again tomorrow featuring Miss Louise's designs. So if you're not a Patreon or a Ko-fi supporter, guys, jump on those tiers. $5 tiers gets the past files and the new files. And the $3 tier will get you that month only, this month's only. And $20 tier gets you the Zoom meetings, which we have 4 a month. I bumped it up to 4 a month. So 2 Fridays and 2 Saturdays. Oh, it may not let her post her link, guys. Let me see if I can get it. That might be what the trouble is. Let me get her link for you. Can you send it to me on Messenger, Susan? Let me get Susan on Messenger and get her link. Ah, I dropped my keyboard. There she is. I know I love the Zoom too, Shirley. I'm loving them because we get to play and we get to bounce ideas off of each other, and we don't have to type or worry about that. We can just chat. I love it. Let me see here. There we go. I just found it too, Susan. All right, let me see if I can paste it in there for you guys. There you go. See if you can click on that one. There you go, Dolores. You can use that one. I just posted it. And then the other one is Judy. Judy LaRue, I think is the way she has it in there. Oh, the time is an issue for you, Pat? Yeah, the time can be an issue from time to time, but we do record it, so you still have availability. So hopefully maybe we can, as time goes on, Pat, if I can schedule some midweek and stuff, I might add some more. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. All right, guys. And don't forget the group code changed. Our group code is now Santa 10. I don't think it's going to let me. Let me grab a copy and paste here. Santa 10 is the new group code giving you your Cricut discounts. And there's a link down below for them as well. I don't know if it's going to let me post these, but we're going to try. There we go. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me, and I will catch everybody on the next video coming out tomorrow. Is going to be recorded, and we are going to Zoom on Friday at 7 for all of my Zoomers. Friday at 7 o'clock, and then we'll be live again on the 26th, next Monday. You're organizing your final. Oh, you have those with the big plastic drawers. Okay. Thank you, Sue. Thank you to all my moderators. You guys are doing a fantastic job, guys. Make sure that you thank your moderators when you're in the groups and they're giving you some assistance. They're the best in the business, I can tell you that. Yay, Tina. We missed you last week. All right, guys, I will catch you on Zoom on the 23rd and YouTube on the 26th, and I will be giving you recorded tutorials. Until then, the 26th, don't forget, mark your calendars. That is our grand finale of the Christmas in July, and you're not going to want to miss that one. I promise you're not going to want to miss that one. So, I'll see you then. Bye-bye. Don't forget, thumbs up and a like too.